Believe it, they're surrounding them again with a shaky moment. He committed to the ball. Liverpool were throwing players forward. Jota was brave against the City number 7. Núñez shifted it onto his right foot. He never really looked up. Salah was in acres of space. There was no one challenging him. They could have wrapped it up there, Liverpool. But Núñez just a little bit too selfish. He had to play that to Salah. He really did. City are all over the place. Emotions have gone, tempers are frayed. It's descending into a little bit of a farce here. Pep Guardiola's left scratching his head. They've got substitutes ready to come on. Gundogan's on the ball, just shy of the centre circle. Goes to his left for Nathan, back to Ederson on the edge of his box. Forward towards Gundogan on the base of the centre circle. Now Ruben Dias, back to Gundogan, just to his left, carrying the ball towards the halfway line. He's got Salah in front of him, wide to Ake, lifts one down the left touchline. There's Silva, loose touch, Gomez steps across, cuts the ball out and plays it onto Bernardo Silva off his knees, and that'll play for a throw into Liverpool down the right-hand side. We're heading towards the last minute of the 90. They're going to make a change here, City, their first of the afternoon. Ilkay Gundogan has been withdrawn, and on comes Julian Alvarez. Another attacking option there, and Liverpool respond with one of their own. Mohamed Salah, the man with the goal this evening, the man who have set Liverpool on their way to just their 3rd win of the season, but it will be against City if they can hold on. He's withdrawn, and on comes Trent Alexander-Arnold. He cuts a very frustrated figure, Mohamed Salah, making his way to the bench, but it's one of those nights for him. Has been very physical, has been quite frantic at times this game. And Alexander-Arnold's decided to leave the throw into James Milner. Milner looks to go backwards to Alisson. Haaland was lurking, so Milner will rethink it and flick it down the line. This time helped on its way by Alexander-Arnold towards Núñez. Alexander-Arnold picks up the second ball down the line. Akanji retrieves it inside to Ederson, left-footed ball downfield up towards the halfway line, over the top of Haaland and Gomez. Virgil van Dijk wins that in front of Alvarez. Up towards the halfway line, Rodri finds De Bruyne, lifted to the right-hand side. Cancelo will close it down over the halfway line. Leaning into Cancelo was Diogo Jota. Anthony Taylor reaches into his pocket and produces the yellow card. Knew what he was doing there, Diogo Jota, just trying to stop the City momentum. We've had the 90. We'll have some time added on. We'll bring you that shortly. Diogo Jota just lent into João Cancelo. City have taken the free kick shot. There's going to be 6 minutes of time added on at the end of the 90. Still a hope for City to pull something off here. Here is Bernardo Silva. Prods that toward his left. Ruben Dias out to Foden on the left wing. Tries to go inside. So just a stretch from Henderson. Gets it away and Carvalho comes away with it. Alexander-Arnold plays it in for Darwin Núñez, who was offside. There was a challenge off the ball late on Fabio Carvalho. Thiago's just in the ear of Anthony Taylor, who's headed across to check on Fabio Carvalho. James Milner's just stooping over his young colleague, making sure he's all right. I didn't see what happened, I'll have to be honest, but all of a sudden Fabio Carvalho was in a heap. I think Kevin De Bruyne was the man who clattered him off the ball. Play resumes with City. Ruben Dias into the centre circle. Akanji back to Dias. Dias into the Liverpool half, left of centre. Bodies in front of him, out towards the right. That's Kevin De Bruyne in the centre circle. Between the lines is Rodri. Good position taken up by the defensive midfielder. Alvarez wide to the right-hand side. Cancelo wasn't expecting it. Robertson gets across to it. Tries to clear it. Blocked by João Cancelo. Little hand-in apology from Cancelo to Alvarez, who's trying to manufacture a crossing opportunity. Suddenly City's fans look frustrated. Not accustomed to losing many, especially on the road. They're on a run of 22 away Premier League games without loss since, well, that famous 1-0 defeat at Spurs on the opening day of the season last year. Throw-in's been won by City, De Bruyne, but Robertson will head that long downfield. Akanji tries to flick that inside for Rodri. Coming away with it down the left-hand side is Núñez. Akanji stays with him. Still going Núñez towards the corner flag. Gets past him, does Núñez. Past Akanji. Looks to square it up. Back post. Robertson sliding in, just can't turn it towards goal. Plays it behind. Will be a goal kick for Manchester City. Darwin Núñez gestures to his colleague. There was Fabio Carvalho as well, providing support. Alexander-Arnold was at the back post. Carvalho was eventually marked out of it by Rodri, but Alexander-Arnold just couldn't stretch. City come away with it. Akanji stays with him. Still going Nunez towards the corner flag. Gets past the left-hand side. Nunez past Akanji on the halfway line. Further wide for De Bruyne. Popping up on the left now. Inside to Nathan Ake. Now back bounces it off for Rodri. Ake wide to Foden.
Nunez gestures to his colleague.
There was a wall of red in front of him.
Inside
it goes to
Alexander-Arnold was at the back post.
Just a little loose touch. Has to spin it back to Ruben Diaz. Across to Akanji right of centre. Hunted down by Jota. Into
City come away with it.
Akanji stays with him. Still going towards the corner flag. Gets wide challenge from Carvalho. Nathan Taylor blows the whistle. Manchester City probably wanted that advantage with João Cancelo in possession. Darting in from the right-hand side. They've taken it quickly though here, City. Rodri wide to Ake. Helps it further wide down the left-hand side for De Bruyne. Tries to cross it left-footed towards the penalty spot. Just spoons off of Gomez's foot out towards this far side, this left-hand side. Cleared this time by Alexander-Arnold. Into midfield though. Rodri. Ake helps it on its way towards Alvarez. Milner's in there winning the ball. Henderson pressing. Silva joining in the back line. Left-footed pass towards his left for Kevin De Bruyne. Inside channel for Ake. Outside is Foden. Skips past to Alexander-Arnold. Lifts it across the 6-yard box. There's two there, but they can't reach it. Ruben Diaz has one of them out at the back post. And it's not kept in play by João Cancelo. Once again, a little bit of a loose play from the Man City number 7. Phil Foden just skipped in behind Alexander-Arnold. Milner went sliding in to try and win the ball. Throwing himself at it was Diaz, and Alvarez was there too, but they couldn't get a touch on the ball. Still a lovely ball from Phil Foden. But they've got the ball back again here, City. Inside from De Bruyne. Finds Silva. They're in the City half, as the Liverpool half. On the left-hand side is De Bruyne. Forced backwards though by Henderson is Ake. Across to Akanji, right of centre. Space for Cancelo on the right-hand side, but City look loath to play it to him. It's been lifted out there by Ake, but Cancelo gives up the ghost quite early. It was far too central. Robertson can just step under it and watch it go behind. Time ticks away. Not much left for City to try and rescue something here. Joe Gomez has been named man of the match, and you can understand why. Up against Erling Braut Haaland, he's performed really well. Not just that, but on that left-hand side, he's had to deal with Phil Foden cutting in, drifting in. Liverpool have had so many problems on that inside right. More than half the goals they've conceded have come from that area, and it's been shored up beautifully well. The threatening partnership that we so built up before the game of Foden and Haaland, well, it hasn't really come to fruition. It's been a little bit stuttering. Alisson takes his time over this goal kick. It's long downfield, as you'd expect, over the halfway line. Won this time by De Bruyne, but flicked on back towards a Liverpool attacker. Prodded forward by Jota, and Nunez bears down on goal. Ederson comes out to meet him, lifted over Ederson. Ake's on the line. It was dribbling, and Ake plays that downfield to Silva. It's another chance for Liverpool to wrap it up, has been spurned. Silva works it into midfield. Ruben Diaz heads toward the right-hand side. Liverpool have a man down. They're trying to get the referee's attention and City to stop, but they're not going to do that. Lifted in towards the mixer by De Bruyne. It's jumped for it by both Alvarez and Haaland. Rather spoons off the latter. And Alisson has a simple catch, and that looks like it might just be the last chance of the game. Just a little lean in from Joe Gomez there. Another clever bit of defending from Joe Gomez up against Haaland. Puts him off. We're 5 seconds from the final whistle. Diogo Jota is on the ground. He needs treatment. And this may be how the game ends. Anthony Taylor's waved on the physio. Pep Guardiola. Well, that intense pace back and forth in his technical area has become a bit of a mournful circuit. Yeah, can't believe his side haven't taken it. He'll feel that City should have been 1-0 up. That was chalked off, of course, earlier. Erling Braut, the Phil Foden follow-up. Erling Braut Haaland with the infringement in the build-up. There were 2 possible problems. One was the little tug on the shirt that Haaland really did against Fabinho in winning the ball back. The second was whether he'd left it too late to challenge Alisson for the ball, as the goalkeeper bravely sprawled at his feet. Eventually, Anthony Taylor was called over to the screen to see what he thought, and he decided to chalk it off. But in the closing stages, Liverpool have had a number of chances to try and win it here. They haven't really managed to do so. Some ones just a second ago, and Nunez tried to chip. And Liverpool are going to try and eat away a little bit more time. They've got Tsimikas ready to come on. It may be for Diogo Jota. Anthony Taylor's just gesturing to Ruben Dias that he'll add time on, of course, but at the point that Diogo Jota went down to ground, there was only 5 seconds left of time added on. It looks almost inevitable now that Liverpool are going to cut their deficits to Manchester City to just 10 points. They'll move to 13 if they hold on today. If you missed any of the other games this afternoon, they finished Southampton 1, West Ham 1. United were held to a 0-0 draw by Newcastle. Arsenal beat Leeds to open up their gap with City to 4 points, which looks like it's how it's going to stay heading into the next round of games coming up midweek. There's a whole host of them. Villa slumped to a defeat at home, 2-0 to Chelsea. And still Diogo Jota. The treatment goes on, and it looks like he's going to be stretchered off. They've got the medical team all the way out there. We've reached 98.5 minutes on the clock. I'm not sure what happens to Diogo Jota, the former Wolves striker. But whatever it is, we hope he can recover from it very soon. It's never nice to see players taken off the field of play and unable to take themselves off for their own volition. And it's nice to see a respectful round of applause from all 4 corners of this ground. So he has been replaced by Kostas Tsimikas. I'm sure James Milner will push up into midfield, but it all does seem quite academic. It will be started with a drop ball to Alisson. He's got the ball at his feet now, Haaland just in front of him. He will pick the ball up from the deck. Bounce it a couple of times. Anthony Taylor retreats towards the halfway line. I'm sure he'll be looking at his watch. Alisson's taking as much time as he can. Will launch this long downfield. Akanji battling for it with Nunes, wins the head of the City defender up towards the halfway line. Thiago can't get there. Alvarez has blocked the clearance of Robertson, dropping in towards Haaland. Gomez gets underneath it, loops it up into the air. Virgil van Dijk, that's a handball from the Netherlands international, was dropping onto his arm. City with a final opportunity. What some story this would be if they can find an equaliser. It's going to be De Bruyne. They're sending as many as possible forward. De Bruyne launches it towards the back post. Akanji's underneath it, headed away by Milner, launched clear by Henderson. De Bruyne is going to try and retrieve it. It's Ederson with the first touch, finds De Bruyne, heaves it into the Liverpool box. That's going to drop out of the sky, straight into the waiting arms of Alisson, who puts his foot through the ball. And here's the final whistle as Anfield erupts. It's their 3rd win of the season. Their first was against Bournemouth, their second against Newcastle, their 3rd has come against the Premier League champions. It's their 14th in a row against the defending champs, and this time it's against a City side who look to be just as good as the leaders Arsenal this season. Jurgen Klopp's hoodoo over Pep Guardiola continues. That's his 11th win now. No managers more wins over the former Barcelona and Bayern. One of the men people refer to as one of the greatest to have ever managed in world football. Guardiola once again comes to Anfield and once again comes away with nothing. They now have only won twice in 26 Premier League away games here. And is that the spark that can reignite Liverpool's flagging season? They came into the game